too deep into the intellectual part first. I just want us to really just stay in touch with our bodies. We're gonna do this like a vocal improv together. This is like no pressure. It's just wherever you're at today, right now, what you're feeling. We're just going to try and make a sound together. Again, just no constraints, just trying, we're just gonna make a sound together, whatever comes into your mind, try to express yourself. I will set us off with something, and then as feels comfortable and appropriate for you, try and add in, and we'll see where we get to. Yeah, is that fair to start from?
Yes.
Okay. I'm also gonna I'm gonna kind of tune us. So before I go into my idea, I'm gonna give just a note, and I want us all to just hum that note and try and get our bodies connected to the space and the sound of the piano, and then we begin from there. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Sir. Let's see. I'm feeling very A today. Yeah, just keep it going. Go ahead. Okay, nice. All right. So again, let's just talk about what were the sensations in our body. What do we feel? How did it sound to you? How did it feel for you? How did you feel about the group? Any observations at all? Anybody want to share thoughts, feelings that come up?
Me personally, I feel very nasally, like I'm clogged, and this happens a lot during this time
Yes.
of the year. I'm very seasonal, so I feel kind of trapped in my nasal passage here. So I felt more comfortable using this part of my, singing.
Right.
Instead of coming from that humming.
I see.
Because
Okay,
I was
so
conscious.
you were trying to not sound nasal, so you're trying to use a different
I was very
portion of
conscious.
Yeah. Okay, I see.
Plus anti-congestion.
Yeah. I definitely, I really, especially now, like this is a huge issue with vocalists. Without going too far down this road yet, I do want to say, like, I kind of feel like there are two types of singers. There are the singers who are like, they have a scarf on at all times, even at 100-degree heat. It's I just feel like they're very, they're very, very cautious about what they eat. When I say there are two types, I'm going to consider this the spectrum, right? You have the super protective, controlling the environment in order to get the optimal sound. And then there's also singers who are like, look, I just had some mac and cheese, and a whiskey, and wait, how many of you feel like mac and cheese and whiskey type of singers?
I sing the mac and cheese for after the gig though.
Save the mac for okay, that's smart.
That was after.
That's smart. And how many of you feel more, maybe like you more lean into the a little bit more sensitive, controlling the environments kind of way? Do any of you guys feel that way?
I should be
No. Okay.
I like the mac and cheese.
Yeah.
I don't drink it.
Right. Right. So, but this is the spectrum, and I guess I just want to allude to the idea that in music in general, there's creating an environment that is optimal.
Yeah.
However, I think in order to be your full expressive self, you have to be. That's a form of improvisation. Also, even if you have songs written and the lyrics and everything's in front of you, like how do you adapt? And I think sometimes if you're always about having the right environment, then you miss out on the important experience of knowing how to sing, like when you're congested because you had a tray of mac and cheese. How do you perform when the conditions aren't optimal? And every year between the pollen and and the changing weather, when it gets colder and it gets drier, you do things to mitigate. You make sure you're hydrated. You have regimens in order to keep yourself in a certain space. But it's important also to know, how do I ride the wave? I guess is my philosophy. I guess is what I'm saying. How do I take where I am and make the best out of that circumstance? And sometimes I've gotten to the point now where I'll kind of throw myself under the bus a little bit. I'll test the waters a little bit. It's okay, well, what can I do? It's I'm having a little trouble with control today because I guess I'm just hungry. But anyway, mac and cheese. I just bought some mac and cheese, so now I'm feeling it in my nasal passages. But can I still get the result I want, or at least approximation of the result I want based on that? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So I want us to kind of explore. Let's explore that topic. Did anything else come up while we were improvising there? Any thoughts or feelings?
I think the acoustics in here are really nice. That's what it kind of,
Yeah.
that was coming up for me. I was like, oh.
Yeah, we can really play with the room, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Or play the room is another
Yeah.
way to think of it. Yeah. Anything else?
I mean, I guess it was kind of cool to see as we were humming slowly. I don't know who it was because I don't know everybody's voices well, but seeing whoever did it pull some melodies in, there was a little bit of harmony, and as it built up, that felt really natural and felt I don't know, it sounded really, really nice with everything, when it was they felt like there was a foundation, and then like slowly there were a little bit of lights like coming in from like either side. I don't know if that makes any sense. I sound crazy, but
No.
I like that.
Yeah, actually, can we explore that a little more? Like, what do you guys feel like? What do you feel like we did well, or what felt good to you in that improvisation? What did you enjoy while we were singing? Was anything else like stand out to you guys?
I feel like I heard like some rhythm kind of like evolve from this side of the room. Yeah, again, like not sure who or but like it was very nice, and it was like a nice layer on top. I feel like we took time to establish our foundation really well, and then we added like layers of texture, which was nice.
Yeah, I like the pacing a lot. Just like how it like moved. I don't know. That felt like really. I don't know. Maybe it's slow, maybe it's fast. I don't know. But it felt nice just listening to it.
That's the goal, I would hope. Yeah. Let me ask the opposite question. For each one of you, like, how did you feel in that experience? Did you feel comfortable? Like, what was your comfort level in singing in this context?
I was very comfortable, and I try to let myself just exploring what next. And I love hearing discovering some sound, just like me, like you said. So I had fun, yeah.
Okay, nice.
Very meditative.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Did everyone feel pretty comfortable, or did anyone feel any level of self-conscious? Was there any anxiousness or anything, or did we just generally all feel good?
I think there was in the beginning for me, and then I was the one creating the melodies, I think, a little bit more. And so there was a part that was like that felt open, and I also think that was because of the foundation. And that's how I usually songwrite. It's like I kind of need that stable sound, and then it kind of leads to space, which is what I like generally. When there's too much noise, and then I feel kind of closed, and it felt very open. Yeah.
Nice. So how do you feel like, are you saying that it was the foundation that allowed you to feel more comfortable? Is that what, that you felt like the initial part helped a lot?
I think so, and also the acoustics.
Yeah.
That was also the nice part. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah.
Right.
So yeah, and just my voice felt like I haven't warmed up today at all, and I haven't done. I was in a lot of meetings, so I guess a lot of talking, but yeah. So it was interesting how my voice kind of felt like it could go in a certain direction, and also the rhythms that I was singing or kind of coming up with. But I think what I know about myself as a singer is I need space, and with space comes kind of those ideas.
Right. And yeah, I think this was a good example of, I think we naturally found a really good flow with each other, which is a great starting place. But as I'm sure a few of you have heard me talk about before, like I always come back to this idea of emotional management. Like, what are the tools we have that allow us to, I guess, stay centered in the creativity that we want to manifest? Because mac and cheese can throw you off, or and it's crazy because you can spiral. That's maybe actually what I'm talking about, because it's not really the mac and cheese. It's always you. But the mac and cheese, you're like, oh God. Maybe first of all, you're like, oh God, I just had mac and cheese. Like, am I gonna? And it's like, oh, and then you start feeling, oh no, now I'm congested. Oh no, am I gonna be pitchy? And if you start down that spiral, then that's something you have to figure out how to either like stop, escape, or you can, by creating certain frameworks, set yourself down the snowball in the right path, like the way you want to feel, how you want to feel calm and not like panicked or anything when you're starting the experience. So it seems like that's like something like, yeah, if I like feel comfortable in the room, if I feel comfortable with the people. Honestly, even us like chit-chatting about frozen pizzas and gardens, like things like that do make a difference. So I just want us to note that for now as we go farther into this experience. Okay, any other observations, feelings, doubts, concerns, anything that came up while we were singing? Anything?
I was like, I don't want to like try and like, do all that whole thing, but I definitely felt like doing that. But like, I tried to just like, okay, I was coming, let me try and just like sing one note. Okay, let me stop. Okay, come back in and sing one note, and then that helped like ease me in to what everyone else was doing, and I felt a little more comfortable after that. Like, give myself some time.
Okay, good. Okay, one last question. How do you guys feel about your, because this is kind of the centerpiece of what I want to like address in this workshop today. How do you feel about your vocal accuracy? Do you feel, or even, I always like to get abstract. What to you, what is accuracy to you? Do you feel accurate? And what does it mean to be accurate to you? You know what I mean? I couldn't ask like a straightforward question. That's a real challenge for me. Anyway, yeah, thoughts on vocal accuracy. How do you feel about vocal accuracy for yourselves?
I never had a formal training apart from like this year, and always sang like very how to say in English, you know, it just was. Oh, sorry. English is my second language.
Take your
Anyway,
time.
not like a proper like training. I don't do music theory. I don't know any of that, and I always felt like I could sing like right, and also if it sounds right to me, it's probably okay. But like very recently, I was told, "Oh, you were off key," and then I was like, "How do I go from there? Because I don't really know like how to change that." Like and it was like also not something I could like re-listen to like realize. So I was very lost after that point. And I was, damn it.
Yeah, I want to say, before I forget, because there's a couple of things that came up, and again, like after we get past this portion, we're gonna have some exercises. Yay. Okay, but I want to contextualize music theory because the way I would look at it, depending on, some people are trained, some people are not, or we have a variety of different trainings. You say like musical theater, you've done Carnatic singing, right? You've done like
The Indian classical, yeah.
Indian classical, right? Is that? Am I wrong?
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're South Indian, you know.
Yeah, thank you, correct.
You're
Thank
on
you.
good, you're on good.
The intention, ultimately, I will say, because I'm a music theory nerd. Like I'm always interested in some new way of thinking or approaching music, and I've done that for years and years and years. And I think in retrospect, what I'll say is, ultimately, what that does is it's like training in how to, ultimately it's about how you feel it in your body. So by going through that process, by training your skills, by understanding intellectually and in your physiology, like these frameworks, it allows you to feel it, and that's what we really want to do, right? Like we want to be able to be in the moment and to in context be able to access what we want to access, right? So it's fine that you haven't studied music theory, and that's also just to say that, okay, so we're going to do some exercises that could be some examples, and then I can also give you some other things to take home with you, things you can do in your free time in order to expand upon it. But again, we're just trying to figure out how to feel it in our bodies and how to tune. Another thing is like, listening to a lot of recordings of yourself, because do you guys know that we don't sound how we sound?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we don't sound how we
Constant
sound.
source of anxiety.
And it's funny because everybody generally seems to feel like the first time they hear themselves or whatever on an answering machine or on a video, or like they're like, "Who is that?" Because you're literally hearing the voice inside your head is your voice resonating in your skull. So it sounds different to yourself than what it actually sounds like in physical space, or at least according to a microphone. So getting familiar with that voice, listening to yourself a lot, and seeing if, like, when you thought you were killing it, and then you listen back, you're like, oh. Or maybe you didn't think you were killing it. It's like, I don't know, I felt pitching, and then you listen back, it's like, oh, that was kind of good. It's very difficult to be objective inside the moment, so just start recording yourself.
I do that a lot. I do that all the time. And so it's either I'm just like, oh yeah, or nah, and usually it's sort of when I listen back and I thought I killed it, usually I did, and when I thought I didn't, usually I didn't. So I think I'm okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, it's a process of creating that barometer, creating that like understanding, like if you can actually have an objective idea for yourself of, am I going in the direction I want to or not in the moment? So that's good. If you generally feel like it's confirmed, that's probably a good sign. Okay, let's try something. So, vocal accuracy. I wanted to try this exercise where I want us to try and approach a note in less of a stagnant way. So generally, when you're learning scales, you know, you're gonna be right. It's very right, and that's an important skill. But I also think what is often missed is the skill of thinking of it almost more like an elastic band, thinking of sound as one continuous thing as opposed to
Discrete.
separate things, and allowing yourself to make micro adjustments in the moment. Like the micro adjustment maybe is the most important thing. It's like, all right, some singers that come to mind, I always think of Shaka Khan for this reason, because I feel like Shaka, when she sings, it just feels like she can throw her voice. That's what it feels like. It feels like she'd be throwing her voice, and it always just feels right, even though it's not. She's not necessarily what you would consider like a very. Any word I'm going to use is wrong, but you know, it's like she's not very just like. It doesn't feel very like linear even. Like she uses a lot of variation in how she approaches her voice on anything, and somehow it always just feels really good. So why is that, right? So one of the things I think is this piece of like, all right, so how comfortable do we feel that can we find the music from an external source? Okay, so what I mean is, what I'd like to try is, let's say we'll just start that. So we're gonna like kind of rev up the engine. And it doesn't matter kind of how high you go. You can just kind of allow your voice to operate in this like elastic way, as opposed to just try and be loose, relaxed, and see if you can land back on the note. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just gonna try hitting different notes, and let's see if we can all end up together. Yeah. Let's see. Good. Yeah, I want us to hold out the notes a little longer. Good. You can do it in either octave. Let's keep it going. Let's stop there. Yeah. One more. Okay, good. So how did you guys feel? Did you feel like you were able to find the note pretty easily for yourself, or did you find some difficulties in doing that?
I could not find the note. Like the last 3 hours, I was like, I don't know where it is.
The same for me. It was the last 2 or 3. I was like,
I think, like, I don't know if this happened to you, but I would start high. I was like, oh no, that's too high. And then I would and by that time, everyone was done back on the note.
I think I struggled because it was lower.
Yeah.
That's actually what I definitely felt is like I kept trying to like I didn't know if I should try to do it in a higher octave or a lower octave, and then I confused myself, and then I like jump between the two, and then I'm just at a G sharp, like a different note. I don't even know what note that is. Like yeah.
Right. Any other observations in doing that? Anything?
I got like louder the higher I tried to sing. That's just like an aside, but that's something I noticed.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I think that was good. I want us to try it one more time, and now this time, I'm just gonna stick with one note. Because again, to me, a lot of this practice is like, all right, how can I stay connected to the internal and external space? So in this case, we're trying to tune ourselves to an external reference. Then there's like the internal space, which is like, all right, can I hear a note clearly in my mind and then match my body to that? So, but in a lot of cases as vocalists, and I see this very commonly, like where a band will be playing and we don't necessarily know all the time how to find our tuning with the music. And what's interesting about that is because even though this, I don't know how like weird or common this exercise feels to you, but it doesn't always seem, I've noticed in a lot of these jam sessions and stuff, it doesn't necessarily occur to us to just like literally like, can I hear what the instruments are doing and pick something that's already there in order to ground me? The grounding maybe is one of the most important things, and kind of going back to what you were saying, Whitney, which is like, I've realized that that's not necessarily something that we're all trained to do or recognize that's what we're doing, which is a measure of like allowing us to succeed or not. Does that make sense? Do you understand what I mean? Meaning like, you have to have your foundationary piece, and if you don't have that, that just makes everything much more difficult. And if we think that our job as a vocalist is to like fly over top the music and never like have a landing pad, that just makes our life more difficult. So can we find that grounding space? How easily, how quickly, how does it feel in our body? And then we can build from there, right? So let's try this one more time. I'm gonna just, let's pick a note, and that way you're not gonna be jumping octaves all over the place either. I will say that's part of the practice too. You gotta know your own voice, you gotta know your own range, you gotta know like which spaces feel good. But for now, let's just pick one, and let's see if we can just like how easily, how relaxed, and then how smoothly can we all find the same note. Fair?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll just go ahead and stick to the middle. Yeah, you can just let the note die. Good, one more time. Okay, good. I'm gonna move. Good. Beautiful. Okay, cool. Okay, so all right, now let's try and do another improvisation. And the idea here is we're gonna find our grounding note together. We can even we're gonna start with that exercise. I'm gonna play some chords. I'm gonna play some chords. And then I want us to take that one note and use it as the foundation or a starting place for our melodies. Okay? So again, we can be in unison. And I'm shooting around with a lot of different ideas, but I just want to be clear. Like the tools for me, one of the tools, these are like really important tools that are overlooked often for me. Like unison is a really, really good one that is overlooked. So if you're ever improvising and you don't know what to do, if you're not getting your own idea, that's fine. Because generally, unless you're starting it, then no, you're not screwed. There are things to do there as well. But unless you're starting it, there's generally something to build from. Even if it's the drums, like even if it's if it's the drums and you literally are just singing a note or a series of notes in rhythm in concert with the drums, that allows you to have a foundation, or I might even call it a clave, but we'll get back to that. I always like, because people don't be, they're not hip to the clave, and we gotta talk about it. But okay, let me pick some chords, and yeah, let's just do another improv. So we'll get our grounding note, and see what comes up together. And I'll try in my playing to continue to reestablish that note so it's really clear to us. So that note is really clear to us.
I got lost. Like I just couldn't find. Like I just noted. There was a distinct point where I was like, I felt like I was accurate, as you were mentioning before. Like I felt like I was in key with everybody, and I wasn't like, I don't know, I wasn't off. But then there was just a moment. I don't know what it was, but like I think once we got a lot of different like layers coming in, even though at least to my ears, it all sounded like perfectly. Like it sounded awesome. But then as I was like listening to that, I lost myself, and then I tried like what you were saying. Okay, like pick like I was trying to focus on the piano and
Yes.
just like okay, let me try to like catch that catch one of the like the root notes or whatever in the chord. Just catch one of the notes in the chord, and I just couldn't find it for a bit, and I was sitting there like and I kept trying to like move up and down with it. Yeah, it was tough. But then eventually I did get back in. But yeah, I don't know exactly why that happened.
Okay, right. So you're not quite sure how you got lost. Maybe you think maybe it was layering.
Yeah, I think when I'm getting lost, yes, I think it was the layering. But how I found it back, I don't know. Maybe it was like everybody was like maybe like singing like the same note or something, and it was easier for me or something like that. But either way, I just got lost there, and then that definitely like threw me off.
But you found your way. So that's good.
I guess so. I hope so.
Any other observations, thoughts, feelings?
For me, I do have ADHD and I get overwhelmed quite easily.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that, and so I also think like I have to make my own sound. But it was helpful what you said in terms of just like kind of maybe just the unification of things. So I kind of just tried to catch on with somebody else and see what they were doing, because my brain kind of goes into this panic mode a little bit. Like where do I need to go? And so that I think that was helpful.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found my way back. But I do feel overwhelmed when there's a lot of different like melodies or sounds going on sometimes, and so then I can feel lost in that situation. That's what I do know. Yeah.
Word, and I wanna speak to that briefly because not everyone will call it this, but some know. But I think what a lot of great musicians, vocalists, and instrumentalists are doing, you find meditation points.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's actually a big part of it. It's like, and if meditation is as meaning a state of awareness and centering and focus in one specific place. So that's really what I'm trying to reference, and I think there's some practical tips that we can get into in order to make that easier. But whether you're playing or singing, it's like, yeah, what do we do to ground ourselves? I have that problem too. For a while, it was really hard for me to harmonize because the minute someone starts doing something that sounds good, I just want to jump to what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm like, but so I often talk about in the jams and in the workshops about listening, but there's the opposite of that. Like, I'm always scared to say this, but there's not listening. Or a different kind of listening. It's like it's actually like selective listening. It's like saying, okay, I am going to block everything else out so that I can do my job, whatever it is. If my job is to sing this one note and to lay the foundation for everybody else, I'm going to use whatever is around me in order to allow myself to be grounded in that. So yes, unison is one way of doing it. I wanted to say, I said zone into a note. As a general rule of thumb, what I think might be useful to everyone is like, the human ear tends to hear the topmost note the easiest. And that's also how not all melodies are on the top in the frequency range of sound. However, they tend to be in the higher ranges, and we recognize that it's the thing that like you zone in on. So when I was playing, I do this a lot. This is like a Zothanism, you could even say. Like I'm very fond of. I'll find what you could call a pedal point or just a repeated note, and then I will build a structure underneath it because that note operates as the glue in music. And let me know at any point if I lose you. But what I'm really saying is that, one, I try to make it more apparent, but this is always present. Underneath all the layers of music, whatever we're listening to, there's a a gravitational force, there's like a pull. A lot of people recognize that. The most easy way to think of that is the key, but there's usually a note or a few notes or a set of notes that ground the music and keeps everything locked in, even when you do all this other fancy stuff. And I love to make that really apparent in how I'm approaching it, because to me that keeps it very grounded. So when I was playing, now just listen for a second, because I could, and this piano's a little wonky, so we'll see how everything sounds. But if I could go a lot of places, okay, I can get weird, okay. That all, without getting too deep into it, there's a lot of things that are happening. A lot of times harmonies are very flexible as long as you have like something that is anchoring the music. So for me, by having that top note, that anchors me and that anchors the rest of the musicians. That's a tool you can use in any situation, especially an improvised situation where it's like, well, I have to pick something if you're singing, right? But can you find the top note? Here's what we'll try and do. I want to see if y'all can follow me. I'm gonna play, and I want to see if you guys can. I'll try not to get like too fast and too furious or whatever. Family. Yes, you already know where I was going with this. I'll try not to get too fast and furious, but I want to see if you guys feel like you can hear and catch the top note. So I'll move chords and then we'll try and catch the note together. So try not to get distracted by any other harmonies. Can we try that?
Yeah.
You down with this? Okay. Again, stop me at every point. You're like, stop. What the hell? What's going on? All right. Come on, I want to hear you. Okay, and I'm gonna move. Good. Let's see if you catch this one. Okay, last one. Let's see. Okay, nice.
That was so fun.
So did you see? It's like, all right. And I was pushing, but not, I could push farther. We're gonna push farther. I want to see. But okay. So no matter what, because I was moving in different keys. It wasn't super strict from like a classic European music standpoint. Like I was all over the place using like non-functional harmony, but you were still able to find an anchor, right? We were able all to find an anchor by using that top note. The top note, either in, generally like listen for what the pianist is doing, listen to what the guitarist is doing, Like listen, just them, like and like zone it out on everything else, and then not only just what they're doing, because they're probably gonna be doing too much. Knowing Candace will be doing too much, but like, okay, all those other notes aside, can I find one note? At first, it seemed like in the first chord, it took us a second to find ourselves. But then when we got used to it, we started to like, oh, okay. All right, now this time I want to jump around a little more. I kept the melody pretty linear. We didn't.
Yeah, it feels like you were just stepping up, like
It was a lot of
melody was
step up,
chromatic,
yeah.
like,
But let's see if we're leaping a little more, if we can still hold on to it. Let's try it. Let's see. And I'll try not to go into the stratosphere, in terms of octaves or whatever. That's a real life example. That will happen to you. So, okay, and let me point something out while I keep playing. So, Candace may do too much, whatever, or just the right amount. But don't get caught up in the flirt. Wait until it lands somewhere, or try and find the landing point that's happening. It's okay if we don't all just draw the same conclusion. Let's go. It's a little harder now. Now I'll say vocal cords. That was good. Hey, yeah, clap for yourself. Okay, I really tried to push the point. But even as I was doing whatever the hell I was doing, even in that, like even if the piano player decides, hey, I'm gonna play every chord all at once, can you find a note? It doesn't always have to be the top note, but how well can you like zone in and find a note to allow yourself to be grounded in the music? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, I started, again, this wasn't in any particular key. Most of the time, it'll probably be easier than that. It'll probably, or at least, the melodies are probably gonna stick to, they'll probably be something that's see, right. Okay, what I love about this is, again, the harmonies develop themselves.
I
See what I'm saying?
apologize. I cannot. I think randomly I'll just like I just can't find it, but I find something in the I don't know in it's like some sort of chord that I just hear in my head. So sometimes I'm like missing. I can hear myself like I'm missing the top note, which I'm like shooting for, and I just end up somewhere else.
Yeah. And to be clear, like I know, like sometimes the top notes, like that's not in my range. Like let's not even. You know what I'm saying? Like there are other things to consider. But again, just like oh yeah, these anchoring points, and then you're always. How do I put this? You're always in the music. I also want to point out. So because I'm like I'm a weirdo, if that isn't obvious. And musically speaking, right? Like I think that like. A lot of times we treat music theory like this very stagnant thing, as opposed to this evolving, living thing, language. And a lot of us have trauma and are just like rejected it outright. Like, there's like a whole history about it that we could get into possibly another time. Or this time, because I love talking shit about colonization. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that there's a set of ideas that like, okay, this is correct and this is what we're supposed to do. I think what we're missing often is like the rooting of those lessons because Western harmony has a lot of great ideas that are the foundation of like what most of us are playing. But there's a point in which we kind of get stuck, I think, a lot of the time. And one of the fixes I have for that is like, you're gonna hear me say it for the millionth time, Nabil, but like, the difference between right and wrong versus, one way I think of it is justifying your case or creating, or maybe a better way to say it might be creating alignment. So I personally believe the way that we perceive sound is like what we like is a reflection of like what we like in reality. So when we are in unison, it sounds good to us because we look for togetherness. And when we have singularity, it feels like, okay, that makes sense to us. That's something I can recognize and I can understand. It makes our bodies feel at ease. There are other things about, like consonance and dissonance and frequencies and all those other things. But like without getting into the denser material, just saying like, oh yes, that unified, the unison of it feels good to our bodies. And so I can be playing really kind of all over the place things, but if you have enough, low-key, if you have enough musicians doing the same thing, oftentimes it still feels, it feels correct in its own way. Even if it's really weird and abstract, but it's about like, okay, are we aligned? So I guess all I'm just trying to point out is that by finding a note within the chord structures, getting good, that is the practice. Like, do we ear train when we're listening to any music? You can do this at any time you're listening to music. Listen to the music, see if you can find a note. Can you find a second note? Can you find a third note? And those are access points to be in alignment with the music. You see what I'm saying? As opposed to, this is the correct theory, da 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 da. You know what I mean? The difference. Any questions about that? Does that make sense to y'all?
Makes sense.
Okay. So also I want to thank y'all. This is a great group. Like, everybody's great. Everyone's great always, but we sound really good and I like that.
Can I say that like choirs are probably my favorite thing in the entire world? And
Same.
back home, they don't do like choir in high school and stuff like that. So you're my first choir that I'm a part of.
Oh, yay! I love that. Okay.
You gotta get the robes.
The robes?
I feel like would y'all indulge me in doing this one more time, and this time I want to see if we're comfortable diverging in the note choices.
Sure.
So now we can use the top note. It was already starting to happen.
Yeah.
But feel free to just, if you hear another note, just go for that note, and let's see if we can like sit in those harmonies. Let's see what happens together, what happens in our voices. Yeah?
Yeah.
We down for that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Okay. One more time. One more time. Okay, good, interesting. So I feel like I was hearing us still gravitating towards the top note. Good instincts. I want to point out number one, yes, do that. If I honestly wish people would do this more. Like if you can't hear the harmony note, there's a time and a place to take a flying guess, but why not just sing in unison or sing sing in unison, because then we're staying grounded, we're not getting lost and confused with each other. So I commend us on that. Were you guys having a hard time picking out other notes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Did it feel like equally as hard, or did it feel any different than before?
I think because there was for me an out of balance between, like, the voices were so strong in unison, and then the other, like, the notes. And so because we were playing with few notes, right?
Right.
And so my brain was kind of like, and so it just chose to focus on what was stronger, in my opinion.
Right. It influenced you in that
Yeah,
direction.
exactly.
It was easier to hear
It
it.
was easier to pick up.
Right.
But the other ones kind of blended together a little bit more.
It's a good point. Anything else come up while you were trying to do that?
Yeah, I was trying to focus on like hitting some of the like the notes that you're playing with your like left hand,
Yeah.
like the lower notes, and I couldn't. I tried to find it, and I just couldn't. There was like maybe like for a second I'd find it, and then like I'll lose it or something, and then I found myself obviously as like I didn't want to sound I didn't want to sound bad in the unison, like I didn't want to throw it off, so then I'd go back to the root note to try to like correct myself. But like yeah, as I was trying to find that like lower note that I could maybe harmonize with, I just wasn't able to like find it. And I'm not and I think maybe it was because there was a lot of movement, and like I was getting lost in that movement, and I wasn't able to like keep up. Like it was hard, yeah.
Yeah, and that's it is hard.
It is.
It is challenging. It's a challenging exercise. So what I just want to point out is like, so we have our, I'm a really big fan of like our bullet point go to, okay, when all else fails, where do we go? Top note, melody. There's melodies are present everywhere. There's in a song, there's several melodies happening at once. So I go down that road. I'm just saying, like the guitarist has a melody, whatever, if you can pick out the top note of any instrument, the pianist, the bass, I actually think that most, like part of what makes music so compelling is the movement of those two melodies, the bass melody in coordination with the top melody. And then there's like a lot of fun stuff that happens in between, but that's more mushy. These are the things that are like very defined in a song, and that's what gives a thing its structure. Is that bottom, like that grounding, and then the levitation or the flying part. So those two things together. but those are generally the easiest to hear. The top is easy. The bass can be challenging sometimes, especially if it's really low. It depends if it's an 808. Well, that's a whole nother discussion. Or walking bass sometimes, like acoustic bass can be sometimes hard to hear. But those two notes tend to be the easiest to hear. So those are something you can latch onto really easy as your starting place for whatever you're going to establish as an improvisational idea. The training comes in, I should do this more. This is a good reminder for me, but when I'm playing all these things, can I pick out all the notes, Can you pick them out individually, and then if you're playing a chord, who here plays piano or guitar, at least a little bit? What does that even mean? It does mean something, but I know what you mean. All right, you said you play. Yes, I've heard it. Did you put your hand up? This is not, no. I'm not saying who's a concert pianist. That's all I'm asking. Can you pick up and noodle and play a few chords?
Yeah.
Does everyone say yes, no?
Yes.
Okay, all right, let me rephrase. Have you? There isn't a pop quiz after that. You're not gonna have to I'm just asking, do you sometimes sit at an instrument, a guitar or a piano or something, and pluck out some chords or something like that? Yeah? Has everyone done that?
Yeah.
Okay, great. That's all you need. So there's a couple things about this. You can take whatever your repertoire is, whatever chords or anything you have, and you play it. Now I'm being fancy. Let me chill out a little bit. Okay? That's a 4-note chord, and can we pick out all the notes? Okay, so what else do you hear? You hear anything else? Beautiful. So you start out just seeing if you can isolate them all, and then you try not to make them stick out, is the practice. So just play the chord. You see what I'm saying? And getting used to that. But then, at some point you can be can you isolate it for yourself and hear it in your mind's ear? You see what I'm saying? And as you do that more and more, it gets easier and easier. So you can use whatever you already have. You also, not for nothing, you can put your hands down. Even you don't have to know what it's called. You don't have to have some music theory behind it. But if you're oh, I like how that sounds, whatever it is. Oh, I like that. What is that? I don't know. It doesn't matter. But you can start. Those are all the notes. This is an exercise you can do at home for yourselves, and the more you practice that with an instrument, that's a great exercise. And then you can also just do that to recordings. Listen to music and see if you can really hear all of the voices. Does anyone know? So do you know? Does everyone know the terminology voicing? Have you ever heard voicings? No. Does someone who knows what voicings is? How would you describe what voicings are?
It's just a different way to play the chord.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe with like the root wouldn't really, it kind of changes, so it's like an inversion, I would say.
Yeah, I see the same way. Like as like chord inversions.
Yeah.
Like sometimes if it's like an A C E, then you can do C E A, where the lowest note is like the C.
Right.
I that's what I heard.
You change the arrangement of the notes.
Yes.
That's yes.
Like when I was learning Indian classical lessons, it was like Sari Rama,
Yeah.
Padanisa, Sari Rama, Garisa. They would keep on changing the notes. Is that what does that sound right?
What? Say that one more time. So,
Like it's changing the notes and
Yeah, in like in a chord. So in that situation, I guess the way it would be like sa, sa. So we want to say those two notes, and then if we take the middle one like sa, I can't sa ri ga sa ga no sa ga sa. No, I can't.
wait, hold on. It's fine.
But yeah.
But yeah, meaning yes, you can play these three notes in that order, and that's a voicing.
okay.
But you play it in this order. Those are the same three tones, C, E, and G, but in a different order.
Yeah,
and that's what a voice
ascending,
is.
yeah.
I bring this up because, excuse me, do you have a sense of where do you think the name voicings came from?
Well, I'm assuming from like some sort of choir, because it's like voice is in the word.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, again, so yes, this is terminology borrowed from like Western classical, and the name voicing is because these originally what was adapted to the piano or a lute or a guitar or these different instruments was groups of voices. So another way to think of it is like every one of these notes is a person. So sometimes people forget this when instrumentalists, I try to remind instrumentalists because they get, we get fancy and like, yeah, I'm like, oh, what if, it's like, oh my God, can you afford all those singers? Like, that's a lot of people, like, what do you do? And then, but sometimes players will get so, and that's the beauty of, you can do all sorts of crazy stuff you wouldn't do, like, who's gonna sing that? But it can sound very disjointed if you're just all over the place all the time, like, and that's fine, that's a style. But if you think of it more like, oh, these are people, and therefore, like, let me okay, how do those? Like each person, each note is its own melody, and getting to know those melodies. And that's where like harmony and choir arrangements come from as well. Like ultimately, if you stack this concept we're doing with one chord with a whole song, that's how you get your soprano part and your alto part and your tenor part and like or however many parts you have. It's just getting to know. And then we can move on. But like if I'm doing one of these fancy chords, okay. We'll just take two chords, right? But then I can do the same thing and go, oh, but what's the note under that? Right? So now you have those two parts. You see what I'm saying? But then you have the layer underneath that. And so forth and so forth. So that's a way you can, build your own harmony arrangements. That's just also a way of training here. Does that make sense? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
What's the spelling for voicing?
Voicing.
Is it Voice and
Voicing.
ING, yeah.
Oh.
VOIC.
ING.
ING.
Voicing.
Voicing or voicings. So there's just different way to arrange the notes, and there's infinite ways to do it. But the idea that these notes are people, that they have spirit, that they have energy, and instead of just like abandoning them, like you think of them like, oh, where, like, what is the journey of each person melodically together, and that's how you get chords actually. Like, it's a whole other topic. Anyway, does that all make sense to y'all?
It does, yeah. So you're recommending the best way to do it is to just play a chord on whatever instrument and then just try to pick out each note. Because the way that I imagine I would like practice that is like, let's say I take a chord and then I'll just play each individually like you were doing there, and then like, but when I hear it in unison, it's like it just like melds together for me.
Yes.
And I find it tough to separate out the different notes. But if I were to just, I suppose, sing along while I maybe arpeggiate my chord, is that what you're essentially saying? Like, would that help?
Yes. I would start by arpeggiating. I'm not gonna say it is the best.
Okay.
I think it's good.
Okay.
Yes, I think it's a great exercise. You start out by arpeggiating because it's easier for you to hear, but then you try to hear it while it's melting.
Yeah. I mean,
Hear
that's
it
the
in the
hard
notes.
part. Yeah, that is.
But as you do it, you'll find that it gets easier and easier for you to pick out notes. And again, what's so cool about it is not only does that give you grounding in what is there, but then you'll start when you're listening to music and you're trying to come up with your own melodies, your brain is gonna have like more connection points and new places to start from.
Makes sense.
You see what I'm saying? So it creates this tree of possibilities the deeper you get into this practice. I had another thing I wanted to talk about. What was it before? Wait. Also, what the hell time is it?
No, this
I gotta
is
get a
for
watch.
show.
Huh?
It's 8:40.
8:42.
Okay, cool. I mean there's a lot there that can be done, but let me ask y'all this. So, all right. So, again, we're talking about like how do we improvise? What are ways to stay connected to the music, stay connected to each other? It's on the tip of my brain. The other subject that we should probably get into, but any other questions? Just any questions at all? Like when you're trying to improvise, you're trying to find notes, you're trying to find melodies. Do you guys have any difficulties in particular?
I do. I have 3 instruments that are sitting at home: a tabla, a harmonium, and a guitar, and I'm not proficient in any of them. So, just to reiterate what you're saying is just take one instrument, whether you know how to play it or not, and just sit with it and hear it, and is that?
Yes, and this is what I'm saying. Like the framework of yes, proficiency is a thing.
Yeah.
It's a real thing. But I try to, in these contexts, like there's like, look, I'm a regimented musician, like to be clear. Like I spend years and years and hours and every single day I sit at my instruments and I work on the muscle memory and blah, 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 etc. But again, it's like especially from improvisation, it's like access points. So no matter, the point is it meets you where you're at if you know how to allow it to. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, don't feel like you're not good enough for anything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because literally, like I feel like we get disconnected.
Yeah.
We call it playing for a reason. Like we play music, but we don't often approach it like we're playing music. We approach it like we're working music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like we're laboring at music,
Yeah.
and I think it's antithetical. It ends up, it's like, and I mean that, and I say that because I've got caught in that trap before. As a person who's like, I want to learn all the theory, and I want to know everything, and I want to know everything, and I think I know everything, and I'm gonna know it all, whatever. That was just a random read. By getting locked into that, I'm actually losing out on the infinite possibilities that come from the freedom of just trying shit out. And so how do you make sure that these things become tools as opposed to a prison?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So like, and the idea is like, well, can I touch this thing? Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And anybody can play, right? And even if I was to go deeper, because sometimes this helps me, it's like, I think adults just make everything overly complicated.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But like, if you, the brain actually responds and learns better in play often than in work. Like when we tell ourselves something is work, our brain automatically is like, no! like it shuts off. You know, like if you, like, or whatever, and sometimes practice, I think, falls in that too. If you think of practice as what I don't want to practice. And once you get locked into that, like, you may even do it, and because you're hating it, your body is actively trying to forget it. Like, actually. Versus if you are loving what you're doing, if you're like, whatever it was, like if you're in this class or you're at home and you're like, oh, I'm just enjoying this, and your brain is gonna like, it's gonna be that much stickier and it's gonna remember it that much better. And play is a way to access that because you're emphasizing your own enjoyment. You're emphasizing the fun of it as opposed to the labor of it. This is, next time I'll bring the research studies or whatever, I'll bring citations or whatever. But like seriously, just like, like how do you stay in the game? And the game is like literally, the game is, you take any set of notes, you can lay your hands down anywhere, you can be like, I don't like that. Oh, I like that. Then just, and now see if you can find the notes and try and tune yourself to those notes. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes,
Okay.
very much so, yeah.
Last thing I want to say, and then I would love for us to sing for a little while. I just want us to get loose and sing and try and like see if we can integrate kind of these things we were just talking about. I just want to talk about intimacy with the music. And that's what you made me think of when you were talking about, well, okay, like how would I practice this? So what a lot of us, I find, it's a quantity over quality problem. And we don't even realize that. Because you can know a chord pretty well, but the well is deep. You can spend your whole life studying one chord if you really wanted to. Like, I try to change the way I look at things in music. Like, I have a relationship to each thing individually. So I have a relationship to C major. My relationship to C major is different than your relationship, which is different to yours, which is different to yours, etc., or everybody in the room. But the more intimately I know that, the difference between a first-time piano student or vocalist and the most amazing musician, singer we've ever met in our entire life is intimacy with that material. They're using the same material often. Most of the time, they're using the same material. But because an advanced musician is so much more intimate, they've spent so much time with that person, with C. They've spent so much time with C that they finish C sentences. It's really like that. They're like, oh, I know what you're about to do. I know what you like. I know when you get grumpy. Some people, this piano, I don't have a very strong relationship with this piano yet. So there are things I will play on this piano, and this is a real piano. This isn't a digital piano, right? So whatever the weather like the mood of the piano. Right now it's I feel like it's a little warm and humid in here, so the notes are different today than they're going to be tomorrow. A little different, and then there's like the overall personality of the piano. So like certain things are going to sound good, and some things are maybe not going to work. You can't just use the same. Yeah, you already know. I was trying to think of an appropriate analogy, but you can't be using the same. Don't use the same. Let's just say, here we go. Don't use the same conversation with every person, right? Because if you just have like a set script of conversation with every person, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes that's not going to work with that person. You have to know that person. You're going to know some people, like, I don't know, some people, they hate small talk. So if you ask them about the weather, they're going to like be angry at you. And other people are like, can we start with small talk? Because I don't, we need, and it depends on how long we've known the person. I'm saying that is true of any scale, any chord, any song. A person who's been playing a song once versus a person who's played it for 30 years. Some people give up. I can't help it. I'm gonna have to get my bag a little about this. You know, like some people, you know, it's like, who here has covered a song? Any song? Right. So here's my question. Have you gotten tired of covering that song? Have you ever covered a song so much that you're tired of it? Has that ever happened to you?
No, but I get scared of other people being tired of it.
Interesting. Okay.
More of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like they've just heard the song out too many times or heard you do it too many times?
Yeah, because that's what I
Which
basically
way does
do
this
is
open?
You're right. I'm sorry. Hold on. Just push it. You're right. And there's a bathroom, that light.
Perfect.
At the end of the tunnel.
I try to learn a song as, you know, there's like moments, because I sing like 30 songs per set, so I have to learn pretty quickly, but if I can go back to a song and sing it again, and then again, and I can repeat it, then I feel like what you're talking about is that intimacy, but then I get scared. I enjoy singing these songs, and I'll sing them over again, I'll sing them twice in a set, but it's more of,
We've heard it already.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's more of that, but then I like to play around with things a lot, so there's also that freedom that comes with it. Once I do it several times, I feel like I can play with it a little bit more.
Right, exactly. So yeah, so you're talking about two different things, I feel like. You're talking about the relationship the audience has to the song,
Yes.
right? Because that's the other thing, like, some people have heard a song a million times, they're like, oh, this, you know what I mean? Or some people are like, this is my favorite song and they can't wait to hear it, right? But then there's your personal relationship to it.
Right.
So I'm referencing our personal relationship. So I'm just saying, like, develop an intimate relationship. You gotta prioritize. You figure out where in the music you want to have an intimate relationship, and the deeper you get in that relationship, the more it will give back to you. The more, like, it's not a one-way conversation, right? Like, when I'm first playing the piano, like, it's like I'm trying to be like, yeah, what are you into? Like, what's your favorite color? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of shallow. But because I know pianos, I can make it, like, I can have a decent conversation. Like, it won't be awkward. But sometimes I might like, oops, because I don't really know this piano. But the point is, like, form intimacy. I was trying to allude to this idea of, like, sometimes, you know, you might play a song, if you've been playing a song for years and years and years and you get tired of it. Now some people might be like, oh, I'm never gonna play it again. But then that's where the real fun comes in, because it's like, well, maybe it's not their fault. Right? Like, maybe you, instead of getting bored, you're bored of them, well, maybe you should be looking at them like, can you have a deeper relationship with that song? Can you look at them in a different way? Like, I'm making this parallel with people too, right? Like, sometimes we treat people like they're disposable, like, I'm bored, or like, I've lost the spice. It's like, well, that's challenging, but you can also look at it in a way and find more intimacy and find more love, as opposed to just like being like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just encouraging you to try and look at them less like inanimate objects, and look, whether you're talking about your harmonium, or you're talking about your chords or your scales, and obviously with your own body, with your own, and not just your body as like your body as one thing, but then like how what's my relationship to my nasal passages? You know what I mean? Like, what's the relationship with my larynx? What's the relationship with my diaphragm and my lungs? Like, build an intimate relationship and know thyself, and that's going to allow you to express more.
How about using the words? Because vocalists, we have benefit to use words, lyrics. Let's say. How I can approach to make words improvisation. Is there any other tip?
Oh yeah. So I mean, without going on for another hour, let's. I think we should do another improvisation, and we can just talk about some easy ways to start like improvising words. Do you guys, when you're improvising, well, first of all, how often do y'all improvise? Who here improvises at all?
I think songwriting is improvising.
Talk a little bit about that. Why would you say that?
Because like if I create a beat or whatever, I'm doing what we just did, but by myself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I think I do that almost every day. but with other people, that's when it gets like in front of a crowd.
Yeah.
That's when it gets into a different place. It's much more
Yes.
intimate. It's much more my own thing when I'm alone in a room or with, you know, friends or something like that. That's different. People I
Right.
can trust. But when it's in front of other people, then it becomes much more vulnerable.
Yes.
So that's why I'm here essentially. So it's kind of like easing into that space.
That's a great point, because yeah, I find it's like improvisation is almost like it's taking that muscle and being able to and being able to access it, like honing in and like kind of tightening your ability to like find things, like how do you do that more quickly. I have a little exercise that I do with lyrics sometimes where, like, because I freestyle as an MC a lot. But what a freestyle is actually is like the game of it, because that's, you know, instead of like music theory blah blah blah, the game of it is, okay, I have to on a basic level come up with a rhyme within this amount of time, and the time is the tempo of the song, right? But what if you give yourself a little, like, the problem is I think a lot of times people go from either like, oh, either I'm freestyling, which is like at the speed of life, right? Or they are, or they're songwriting and they give themselves no time constraints. And sometimes that's fine, like you know, you take a day or a week or a month or 5 years, you know, to write a song, that's a valid artistic process. But what if you play with the timing? What if you said, okay, I only have an hour to write this song, period. I only have 15 minutes to write this. I'll do a little thing where I'll be like, okay, I have slightly more time than I would, it's like a little wiggly, but like, I will freestyle write, and I have a little more time to think. Like maybe it's only like 2 extra seconds, but I'm writing, so the constraint is I have to keep writing. Like if I get stuck, I gotta be like, and just keep going. But I have a little more time than I would if I was actually performing. So you can play with this ability to like more quickly access words and ideas. You see what I'm saying? So okay, so practically. Now I feel like you want, so is it like, okay, because there's also this piece of like first language, second language, how do we access words? Okay, but like, again, I just want to, so as a songwriter, like when you're trying to come up with a topic for a song, what do you do?
That's the worst, that's the hardest thing for me, honestly. That's why I bought a songwriting book, and it actually does help. So it's like, you could just pick some words, and then you start writing free write. But my thing is, I get very critical, even when I'm free writing. So I'm now at the process where I'm free writing and not judging so much when I'm writing.
Good.
And then I'm circling things, like I read it afterwards, and I circle things that I really liked, or the topics that kind of pulled me, or I felt like I need to talk about this, or something like that. That's the hard thing.
Yeah, there's something similar that I like. This is specifically something that I've been, because I'm horrible at like writing lyrics, and so I've been trying to get better at it. But one thing that I found that has helped me I find it fun anyway, is I'll just play a song or something, maybe it's just an instrumental, and then I'll just start like talking over it.
Yes.
Like I'll just say whatever's on my, like literally, but that's easier for me because I talk to myself all the time. So it's like I'm just doing that, but then I like just have a backing track or something, and so I'll just like talk whatever I'm saying, and then just because like I just start to feel the rhythm I get, like I try to match what I'm talking to the like what you were saying about like timing. I try to match that, and then like as I say something, maybe there's like a line that I really like, and then I'll be like, okay, then I'll like keep talking again. Maybe I found another line that like, oh, it rhymes or it doesn't or it fits
Right.
or something. But that's definitely something like a very specific thing that I've done that I found at least has helped me, just talking over a track.
Yes, okay, and yeah, and sometimes in rhythm or just talking.
No, like
In rhythm.
well, in rhythm, yeah,
Yes.
specifically in rhythm,
Rhythmically.
like yeah, exactly. So I'll just like I'll just talk like yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, it'll just happen, but like very specifically that, and it's helped actually, just like random words just pop into my head or whatever's on my mind.
Right, so here's what let's do a couple rounds of this. Let's try it out. Also, we've been in the brain space for a while. So let's get back into the body here. Applicability. So the first technique and I think you already know this one, but let's do it just to warm up for a second. The wander. That's what I call it. Like alright, I'm just gonna say things, and through my walk down the trail, I'll be like, ooh, and you might find like a word or a phrase, and then you're like, oh, now I have the topic. So that's one kind of basic level way to approach it. Now, the important thing in this exercise, and literally, we're gonna go around, you just say phrases, maybe say them in a rhyming way or in a melodic way, but the barrier to entry has to be very low for this to work. That's where some people get stuck even with this, which is say literally anything. It can be silly, it doesn't have to be serious, it doesn't have to be important. You literally say whatever is on your mind. And sometimes that turns into, I don't know what to say, but I guess that's okay. Well, today I went to the, you know what I'm saying? Like, just allow yourself to just converse, but in a vocal manner, and then see if something comes up that you want to hold on to.
Is there a way to like anchor it so it doesn't seem like a lot of options? Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I absolutely know what you mean. Okay, for this exercise, how to anchor it. Okay, does everyone understand how the wanderer, we understand that as a concept, right? Let's skip ahead, we can skip ahead to like the next point, which is like, all right, yeah, so what are some anchors? Yeah, what are some centering points? A couple things. Why don't we just start with one? One is like having a conversation with yourself. That's all day? Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, all of us artists, we know, we got a lot of going on. So that back and forth, just kind of externalize one side of that conversation. So you can ask yourself any question. Think of a question you might ask yourself.
Why are you wasting your time?
Woo!
Deep.
Sorry. It's a question I Why are you wasting your time?
You made me reevaluate my life.
That's a good one. That's a great one. And that's what came to mind. So now, your vocal job is to respond to that question.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So why don't we all just pick a, I'm almost like, maybe we should sing first, and then, let's sing first, and then I'm curious if we can figure out what the questions are that we asked ourselves. So, okay, can everyone take a second, come up with a question for yourself. Does everyone have one? You have a question?
What do you want?
Wait, are you asking me or is that your question? Okay. Oh, you didn't have to tell me about that. Okay, we're good. Yeah, it's like, what do you want? I just wanted to make sure everyone had a question. Everyone has a question for themselves?
Yeah.
To add? Okay, alright. Now, we're not gonna make it too, we're gonna free sing. So I'm gonna sing for a second, and then I'm gonna pass it off to you. And then we go in a circle. Fair enough?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Still just trying to figure it out. Still just trying to find my way. Still just trying to find the time and say the things I wanna say. Seems like there's not enough time in every day. But I guess that's okay.
That's okay, that's okay, that's okay. I don't know what to say. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? That's okay, that's all I wanna say. That's okay, that's okay, that's
Beautiful.
I wanna know why I have to go. It seems unfair. I wanna know why can't I stay? That's all I wanna know. When will you begin? You'll come back here again and again. When will you begin? You come back here again and again. Oh, I was thinking of the same type of key melody.
Do whatever you want.
Okay. I just want your attention. I just want your body. Give me some time, your peace of mind, so I can go on with my day.
Why are you so afraid? Why are you so afraid to get up? 'Cause your butt hurts so much. Why are you so afraid to get up right now? 'Cause your butt
Yes. You want to stand up? Don't be afraid. That's real life. That's real life. Next time we're gonna get some cushion. Alright, Bill.
Can we take a little stretch break?
Yeah, I think we're almost done.
Why does my back hurt? Why does my back hurt? Do I need to see a doctor? Fuck that.
I've been thinking about why people wear the different fits that they go out there with. Sometimes their pants are a little too red, and I don't quite know if that's what I should feel about that. Because it's a little too bright, and I just can't get it out of my head. It's blinding me, even though my eyes are closed. Maybe I should just go to bed.
Alright, good job, everybody. Alright, first of all, message read loud and clear. Why don't you get up and shake it out for a second? And I'm gonna share a few closing thoughts to that point about lyrics. But yeah, let's see. What time is it? Where are we at?
I was for real. I was
Yeah,
actually
anybody who
excited
wants to,
about
like,
her
feel free to
too,
move
and I
on.
was like,
And in general, don't be afraid to move. Just for future reference. Okay, so but to that point. So one access point, the way I look at it now is like, access points, ways to generate more material. So questions are one of those things. You can be more specific with questions. You can have go-to questions for yourself. You know what I mean? Honestly, it's like, it can be something as simple as how I'm feeling today, or or it could be what's the meaning of life, or you can talk to a person that gets crazy. You can have a conversation with your mother or your dad or your ex or your best friend, and then just vocalize that, because now you have like a seed to start from, right? Imagine a person or or visualize a scene. These are like access points. Rhymes are an access point. Like that's what I realized. Ultimately, like rhymes work well because it's like the rhyme itself leads you to a new thought. That's like when you learn how to rhyme, it's like, okay, like I maybe want to put these two thoughts together, but the rhyme is what holds them together, what makes them come together. But there's all sorts of things like that. Synonyms are another thing like that. Like if I'm rhyming, whatever, I'm trying to find the right timing. Tick tock, goes the clock. What's up, Doc? But this ain't Bugs Bunny. This ain't a joke, ain't nothing funny. Ha ha. But Nicky's a comedian. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it's like you can keep using. There's a lot of stuff in between, but those little access points allow you to generate something new. So like, maybe it might be a little harder for you in English, maybe, if you don't know like a lot of synonyms, but like word association, basically. It's like how do I take one word out of a sentence, any word out of the sentence, take that word and then find a new one. Why don't we, like that can be homework, guys. Like, next time we come, like think about like what are some access points for you? Like try to think of some little nuggets that help you come up with more lyrical material. Yeah? Does that seem like a fair exercise? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, everyone clap for yourself and each other. I think this is a really great time. You guys, gosh, sound good. Before we go, I have to say my little spiel. Thanks again for coming. $20 sliding scale. Venmo, Cash App. I take cash as well.
Okay, awesome.
Whatever works for you, but I appreciate y'all so much. I hope you learned something. Also feel free to like, if anything occurs to you in between now and the next one, like reach out to me. I'm happy to answer questions or also like delve into specific topics based upon like something that you want to explore next time. Yeah,
It's easier for me.
Piano?
Yeah.
Where I can find information about this.
Yeah. Text me about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I might take you up on that offer as well. I was gonna ask about that, just to learn a little bit.
Okay, cool. Cool, yeah.
I need guitar lessons.
No, we can talk about all that. Yeah, anybody who's interested